I think so many of our policy debates would look so different if they were approached in a super forecaster mentality. If you consider the recent brouhaha over Syrian refugees, for example, you've got the usual ideological kabuki dance going on. You've got Republican nasty xenophobes, and you've got Democratic politically correct ostriches, and one side is not willing to acknowledge that ISIL is likely to be infiltrating Syrian refugee flows. The other side is not willing to acknowledge you're going to be killing lots of innocent people. And this is how we do debates nowadays. And it's very hard for us, I think, to see ourselves in a long time frame. I think when we look back at the Salem witch trials, we see primitivism and bizarre, superstitious, ridiculous thinking. How are we going to be judged 400 years from now on how we do political debate? Will history be any kinder to us than we are to the Salem witch trial judges? We have remarkably primitive ways of conducting debate. A lot of the things we do in a debate like the Syrian refugee flows, for example, we just don't want to be discomfited by really nasty trade-offs. None of us really want to think, oh, well, how many innocent Syrians would we be willing to let die in order to reduce by some delta increment the probability of one American death from an ISIL-related terrorism incident? That's not a preferred way of thinking. We don't want to think about what the possible base rates are of infiltration, what our detection rates are, what the risks are, what other measures could be taken. There's a disinclination to think in a rigorous analytical way about these things. It even, from many people, feels cold-blooded. But I think you're going to save many more lives in the long run if you're willing to be honest about the assumptions you're making about risk and the trade-offs you're willing to make. I can't imagine what would happen to an American politician who just talked the way I did. I mean, it would be it would be bizarre.